Hello everyone, I am Shruti Vijayargi from BISP Solutions, and in this video I am going to tell you how to create histogram in R. So first understand what is a histogram. A histogram is a display of statistical information that uses rectangles to show the frequency of data items in successive numerical intervals of equal size. In the most common form of histogram, the independent variable is plotted along the horizontal axis and the dependent variable is plotted along the vertical axis. So a histogram is appropriate for summarizing the distribution of a numeric variable. In R, the histogram is created using the hist function. So let's produce histogram. So first understand what are the arguments of histogram. The first one is the x, which is the numeric vector of values which for which you want to create any histogram. Then another options will be frequency. If by default the frequency will be true, and if we make frequency false, then it will not calculate the frequency. Then the next argument will be breaks for the number of bins main to give the title xlib and ylib to for the naming of the x-axis and the y-axis. So let's go ahead and create a histogram. So first I want to tell you that I have already discussed how to import files from the Excel and how to attach it in the R workspace memory. Now let's produce histogram for the variable units. You can notice the default in R is to report frequencies a default title. So hist and passed units as argument. Then our histogram is created and by default the frequency is calculated here and the arguments is coming by default. Now let's talk about how we can change this plot from the default values. First, let's talk about changing the y-axis to represent a probability density rather than frequencies. To do so, we can use the FREQ argument and set this equals to false. F in R denotes false. So the density here comes in place of frequency. We'll discuss frequency later in another video. We may also use probability argument to set this equals to true. In place of FREQ, we can use probability equals to true. So this do the same things as frequency becomes false. We can also change the limits using the x limit and y limit. Using the x limit for defining the limit for the x-axis, I want limits 0 to 100, so it is good. You can change the limit for y from 0 to 0.015. Just enter. Okay, now let's talk about how we can change the bin width. To do so, we may use the breaks argument within the histogram command. We may specify the number of breakpoints breaks, let's suppose from 0 to the first break it simply, let's suppose, into 4. If I write breaks equals to 4, then this will create the 5 bins for our histogram. We may also use the breaks command to specify the breakpoint themselves. For example, if you want bins that run from 0 to 100. So you may write C 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now this will create the 10 bins for every 10 intervals. Okay, this may also be done using the sequence command seq, and from value 0 to equals to 100, and by value will be 10. So the same graph will be achieved. There is no change. 10 for the increment. We may also add title using the main argument. Let's suppose units histogram. You can change the label of the x-axis or y-axis using the xlab and ylab. xlab equals to units and ylab equals to values. Okay, I also like to rotate the values on the y-axis by setting the LAS argument equals to 1. The final thing we will discuss is adding a density curve over this plot. This can be done using the lines command. So write lines. Here we'll add a line that is the density for the variable units. Density for the variable units. So the line is generated. We can also change the color of this line using the col command. Let's suppose I give this red color, so the color will be changed, as well as the width of the line using the lwd command argument. To make the line thicker, I am giving argument 3, so the line is more clearly visible. So this is how histogram is created in R. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thanks for watching.